My name is Goldade, and I'm going to share with you 3 times that God has worked in my life exponentially and that have really touched me. As many of you know, I played Jesus in Living Stations of the Cross at the Church of St. Paul, where youth put on a performance of the life and death of Jesus. And it was canceled this year because of the coronavirus, and tonight would have been the very last performance of the year, and for me and other seniors, it was the last performance we were going to get to perform. So I'm going to share with you the 3 points of how I got here today. So point number 1 is I was actually in this very spot. It's a horse pasture now, before it was a woods, and it was the first time I took a leap of faith. And that leap of faith was a few simple words, more like yells. And I said, God, why don't I have a friend? Just give me someone to talk to. And he did. He gave me someone that said, hey, get involved with Living Stations at your church. Get involved and believe. So this kid that I started talking to got me involved, and I got to go to Living Stations, and I became a soldier the first year, and that kick-started my faith life. Fast forward 3 years. So I was a soldier for 2 years, and the 3rd year I was asked to play Jesus. Now there's plenty of stuff in between that I can't share because it would be too long, but this last year, when I was playing Jesus, I was told, be an example, and I thought that I was supposed to be this perfect person because I was playing Jesus. How can you not be perfect if you're Jesus? And that got to my head. So I wasn't being me. I was out there raising my hands because I was supposed to, not because I felt it. I was praying out loud because I wanted attention. I wanted to be an example more than I actually was praying. And this final night last year, so it was the Friday night performance of last year, at the very end, if you haven't been to Living Stations before, there's praise and worship afterwards. And there's a cross on the altar, and you're invited to come up and pray and kneel in front of this cross. And it was during the last song. There's a live band, and it was the last song, and about a 14-year-old boy came up, and he was crying. And he came up with his mom and an older lady, and was at the very bottom step. I was at kind of off to the side, but up really close to the cross, because like I do this every night, so it didn't bother me. And I was praying, and I looked down, and I realized I don't have any more faith than that person, that kid that just humbled himself so much to come up to that bottom foot of the cross and just cry. I didn't have any more faith. I wasn't any better. I wasn't any worse. That kid had faith. And I said, I want what he has. I want that. I want to be my own person. I want to be humbled, and I want to be true and sincere. And all I wanted to do in that moment, as I was praying there, was cry. But all I could do was smile. And fast forward to the next day, I was at Mass, and it was really good Mass, and I was tired, and I still just wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry. And then all of a sudden, boom, afterwards, I hit the ground with my knees, and I just said, Lord, just come upon me, please. I was kind of upset and annoyed. And instantly I started crying. And right when I started crying, I go, oh my gosh, I don't want to cry. Like, this is so embarrassing. And then I was like, oh, humbled. Be humbled. And I cried there. And ironically, the same lady that came up to that kid that was crying the night before came up to me and prayed over me right there in church. And I said, okay, God, I get it. That's point number 2. Point number 3. We're going to fast forward again to just a few months ago. I was in a truck with somebody on a road trip, and I didn't really know this person had faith. I really didn't know this person very well, but we were in a truck together, and out of the blue, out of the silence, comes this. Quotations. Yeah, I'm a big sinner, but I don't know how one person can get through one day without God. End quotations. And right there, that seems like a super simple sentence, but for me, that was my life. Because what I would do is I'd go to confession, I'd pray, I'd read the Bible, I'd go to church, and then I'd sin. And right when I would sin and recognize it, I'd run the other way. And I'd be like, God, I'm not worthy of you. I'm out of here. And what this person just said is, when you sin, you run to God. And it was a road trip, so I had some time to think about it. And I realized, you know what? God just used this person to speak to me and say, stop running the wrong way. Turn around and come to me so I don't have to chase you so much, even though he'll chase you wherever you go. And that was really powerful to me because I learned that I just have to go to God. And now we're going to fast forward again to right now. Uh, it's Friday night. This would have been my last performance ever on that stage, being Jesus, and it's pretty crummy. That's what I feel like right now, and it's really sad. And I was texting someone when I got home from work today, and I said simply, "Why is this happening?" Like, I had dreams about tonight being like the best performance ever, miracles happening on the stage. And she goes, "Oh," this person goes, text back, and she says, sometimes we don't see the miracles. Sometimes the miracles happen, or sometimes we only see the miracles when we get to heaven." And I was like, "Okay." And then she said, "You should just go outside and pray." And here I ended up here, and I'm praying, and this came to me. And I just want to share with you guys is God doesn't ask for a lot. All he asks for is us to say yes to him. So I encourage you to read the Bible, to start praying. And I know we can't really go to church right now because of this quarantine thing, but, find somebody to help you along in this journey. And if you don't have someone, might as well send me a message. So that's kind of my testimony for the last couple years and how my faith life got started. And I just want to say thank you all for wanting to come if I invited you to this. And if for any of you who didn't know about it, I highly encourage it next year. And I'll be posting on my Facebook page when it comes out for next year. Or if you never know, maybe there's a miracle about to happen and maybe we can do it this year. We'll see ya. And I'm praying for you guys. So God bless.